Welcome guys to a new video, and this is a new series. Today, from today and from the next few videos, I'll be training Minecraft PvP. If you ask why am I doing it, you'll see at the end of the series. For nothing else, but I actually want to be good at the game. And now I will show you how I plan to become a player who knows how to play the game. And now let me explain what is going to be my list about how will I train. As you can see behind me, there's different weapons from sword to TNT minecarts. As you can see, this is going to be the first video, second video, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth video. If you ask why am I even training, as I already said, it will be in the end of the series. And for today's video, I'll be mastering the sword. When we talk about the sword, it is not purely just the sword. The sword is not by itself. You have two more styles. Another thing you need to master is an axe, and the last thing is the shield. After mastering these three in one episode, you completely mastered sword PP. But for the rest of the weapons, it's mostly just mastering it by itself. And the sword is kind of the easiest but the hardest at the same time. First, you actually need to know how to play and not to mess up everything. But this one will be the first of the series, so it may be just a little longer and not perform good, but I don't really care. Let's start training. This is a mannequin. You can just summon him using the /summon command, but what does it exactly do? Well, pretty much nothing. It's just a bot which you can punch, but the problem is it has a normal star, but it can allow you for some easy training in vanilla Minecraft. Now that I explained how will I train in a solo world, it's time for something, in my opinion, harder, not to get to kill him, and because of that I will use stone tools instead of netherite, so I don't accidentally kill the bot. I mean, I can just respawn him, but knockback makes him knockback so much. But I also have instant health, which is easy. So everything now and then I will splash him behind the scene. Now it's time to start the training. So by now you probably know how Minecraft PvP works, and the simplest form is the sword PvP, and this is the best way to train it. But just coming up here, you can just start mastering combos. The only problem with the mannequin is that it doesn't move on its own, but just install car mode if you want. But yeah, that's the biggest problem. But I can just type in the command. Now that we have him back, this is the easiest one to practice. I will just go ahead and start punching it. And because I don't want you to actually watch me punch a bot, I'll also in this video show it in on a server peeping other people. But here is a short storyline how this will should look. I will first start by learning how to combo. And while it is quite easy to combo like that, there's a bigger problem. When you try to combo with an axe, it's pretty much impossible, as the axe has a too long cooldown to deal good damage. Well, this seems to be easy. With an actual sword against an actual player, it won't be good. So that's why you always need to have sword, in my opinion. Next, if they take too much knockback, you just have to perfectly time it, but there's a bigger problem. If you don't have enough knockback, there is no way to solve that problem. The only way is to get a knockback effect. And while that is the only way, there is another actual way to deal more knockback. And no, I'm not talking about spam clicking. I'm talking about hitting your hits at the correct time. You may ask, yeah, but every time I try to hit him, he just doesn't knock back as usual. And that's because you made one mistake. When you punch somebody, there are three types you can punch him, like crit, which is when you jump and deal damage to him, the sweep attack, which is when you stay in place and hit him, and the last one is which I personally don't know, but you can pretty much obtain it whenever you're sprinting, and that's how you get more knockback with just pretty much. And if you ask how do YouTubers like Sharpness make those stunts with 360s, there are chances they don't actually do them because this may seem like something close to a 360, but the actual 360 will look like something like. I mean, well, I can be pretty close to a 360. It's not as easy as they show it to you, so I don't recommend you trying it without some training. But if you're already training, you can try it or something like that. Now that we finally are here, there's another problem: shields. And they're pretty easy. You just hit them with an axe and start your combo. That's an easy way to get a player down. But shields won't be disabled forever. Let's just say, okay, I get a spawn egg for, I don't know, something which will try to kill me. A husk, let's say. I don't know, okay, I can't spawn him because we're in peaceful right now. So, and now I will show you how shields actually work. By just holding your right click, you will start ignoring the hit. But what if your opponent uses one? Well, then just hit him with an axe. Now, this task, there's just one problem, and that's that we do have AI. They're not smart as a player. So see, we have a husk, and I can just make combos with almost no damage taken. But here's where the problem actually appears. Let's say I need to kill someone who has a little more health, not something like this or this, but something like this. Well, I can comment him. What if they're multi-planets? Well, that's when the sweep attack actually is useful, almost never. But let's say there's this many, but just fully charging it, you can get the sweep attack. And if you have sweeping edge, it will just be in a larger zone. But pretty much it's not needed if you're fighting the player. But now it's time for something different. As you can see, players mostly don't know what to do if someone is holding a shield. Let's say this player is holding a shield. To represent it, let's say I put an armor stand in front of it like this, and I can't hit it when whatever I do. So to show it actually, let's go into survival. Once we're in survival, we will just, now that we're in survival, you can see the big problem. I can't hit her without hitting her shield. And yeah, knockback here does work, but on an actual player, it won't work. So here's the options you have. If they're shielding, you can uncharge them above like this and then hit them from down here. and that strategy should be easy to pull off. But now let's say you don't have in charges, which is something which in my opinion makes sense since you're shield peeping. So here is a better example. Now I'll just grab another arms and put it here. And now she has her shield again. You can just exit it, and let's say we disabled it with that exit. She's now out of her shield. Now we can start the combo again, but she gets the shield again. So let's say we disabled her shield and we killed our opponent. And that's how disabling shield works. And I think this isn't that hard to pull off. So I think that actually can be for this part, but now it's time to test it in an actual game. Now let's load into our first match, and the first match will be just a normal netherite PvP. The reason why I'm doing the normal netherite PvP before shield is just to show you some difference. As I said, it's a lot harder to hit combos, which actually don't allow your opponent to hit like this here. Especially in a real player while practicing, it's quite easy in my opinion. But when you know how to play sword, it shouldn't be as hard. Now, if you don't know and you're new, then it will probably be really hard for you. But if you know what you're doing, it shouldn't be that hard. Especially if you play the game for a while. Even mobs can be solved for practicing combos. But keep in mind that mobs in most situations have a longer reach, shorter reach than players. Now, I didn't want this to happen, but I guess I have to try to kill this player. Now that never try to create when you're trying to because that's two different things at the same time. So if your opponent is comboing, I don't really recommend critting as much as just spam clicking, which I don't recommend at all, as it's no damage, as it's doing no damage. So in my opinion, combos are the best opinion. But if you think combos are too complicated, that's fine. Play how you like. Also, a strategy I haven't told you is that by just spinning around like that, you can get some free damage. Now we are getting in a kind of cooked position as we are kind of getting close while needing to kill, and I got out of all my potions, so and totems, so now I have to clutch up. I personally like sometimes enderpearl like that on top of your opponent, so they don't know where you went, because most of the time it will just teleport you behind them instead of in front, which makes zero sense for them. But the game still thinks that makes a lot more sense than any other option. But it's fine, as we can abuse that. And when our opponent doesn't know a glitch, that's when it's the best abuse. Now sadly I may lose just this duel. But as I'm saying, you can't win every duel. But I want to be real suck without the shield for some reason. Because people sometimes try to play too much depending on the shield, and when they are out of the shield, they will like waste 20 ender pearls just to heal up one heart because they can't shield anymore and they're used to taking free damage instead of normal playing. But let's explain some things while I'm playing in this map. Losing is a completely normal thing in the first place while practicing. It may take you a few matches, a few times just to get better, but never give up, as Nick13 will say. And yeah, this is the moment where you almost know you won. If your parts of armor hand broken and your enemies, that means you won. Now it's time for a new duel, and that's Shield Pippy. If I win this duel, that will be the last duel for this video. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope this also gets a lot of views. Counting that my last series actually kind of become really popular. It still has a by itself. I think it has more views than my whole channel. I'm not talking about shorts because they of course have a lot more views. As I said, players are shield abusing a lot, and when you see someone shield abuse, that means they probably don't know how to fight without shields. And if they you somehow know they know, that means that they're kind of not wanting to fight. But thanks for watching this video, and as I said, no, the next video will be about Mason, which may be a little bit harder, but I'll try to do my best. Hope this video was fun for you and that you maybe learned something from it, and goodbye.